We want to discuss about ethical youth leadership. 3 words. Ethical. It means we are talking about the type of leadership which you can trust almost intuitively because they are ethical by nature. Youth. I want to emphasize the fact that even if you are young, do not believe the story you are told that you are the leaders of tomorrow. If you are not leading today, there is hardly any possibility you ever lead tomorrow. People who are leaders will be influencing their Sunday school children, their classmates. They will be influencing their teenage friends, and they will be leading when they are in the university. In other words, it will be important to understand there isn't such a thing as you are leaders of tomorrow. There is somewhere you are leading today. The third word is leadership. You need to understand my definition of a leader is somebody who goes ahead and others follow. Why do they follow? Because he has such an influence that when he moves to a direction, others want to follow that direction. So we really are talking about that whole issue, very important issue of influence. Whenever we talk about leadership, we're also talking about influence. When we talk about the currency of leadership, it's influence. You are not a leader unless you have influence. Because I cannot follow you. Please remember the word follow means I voluntarily come behind you. People who are managers have what we call subordinates. Those are people who have to do whatever you tell them. But people who are leaders do not force their people on such a thing, because they have such an influence that when they tell you to jump, you are likely to ask how high, because they have such an influence, you have such an admiration of them that you want to go where they are going. So when they ask you to jump, you don't have any doubts about the fact that it's a good thing to jump. The only question you might ask is how high. That's really what you are talking about when you talk about ethical youth leadership. And my prayer is that you, if you are a youth, you will take this seriously and start asking myself, what kind of an influence am I having? And if you are the father of the youth, please start allowing the youth to have leadership, to do their things on their own within a certain parameter. Give them freedom. And especially when they get into teenage, you must progressively allow them to operate on their own. You must listen to what they are saying, because at that point, they can be leaders. And it's important to accurately understand this. I'm really calling this ethical to mean these are people who are incorruptible. They cannot be corrupted. It doesn't matter what you try to offer them. In their heart, they have decided to have integrity. So, we have said that a leader is a person of influence in any group. And you can tell, for example, you are together, you all don't know each other. Within no time, the leader will determine the discussion that happens in that place. And there's somebody else who will try, but somehow people will ignore him. But a leader has such an influence, some people call it charisma, that makes him, when he talks, people want to listen to him. People want to go his direction. But I want to now change the subject from just saying leader. How does the leader gain influence? The biggest seller for influence is character. If you can see somebody, he is very gifted, but he cannot be trusted. When he tells you to jump, you suspect he may be trying to trick you. You'll not jump. You'll not be asking him how high. You'll be asking him, why should I jump? Because you don't trust him. So for people to reach the level I was describing of a leader, who are able to influence others, it will be important for you to understand that they must, of necessity, be a people who trust you. They must be, of necessity, people who admire you. They must be, of necessity, people who believe in you. But that doesn't come easy. The idea that somebody believes in you is because what you told them yesterday came out today. It's what you told them last week came out this week. And over time, you gain credibility. And because you are credible, people end up trusting you. So it will be important for you to understand, if you want to call yourself a leader, you must be somebody trustworthy. If you want to be trustworthy, you must consistently do things that come out. You must not be a man of your word. They are called people. Your word is your bond. You never say something you don't mean, and you don't say something and not follow it. When you say, let's have tea at 10 o'clock tomorrow, even if you have to cancel certain things, even if things will go wrong for you, you will want to be there because you want your word to be your bond. And that will be a very, very important thing. And that's why leaders are not many. Because not many people are able to get that level of credibility. And because they don't have credibility, they can become managers. But to become leaders, people who influence others, it becomes very difficult. However, the kind of leadership I would like to recommend to you is what we call transformational leadership. What is transformational leadership? Is that you don't lead people where they are to where they are. No. You look at where your group is, what they're enjoying, their comfort, and ask, could things be better? And then you are able to have a vision, dream about it, and see this better place. Once you have been able to tell what's the better place, you come and share your vision with a group. Because they trust you about this new place, which will be out of their comfort zone. Because they trust you, they'll struggle through all the challenges of going to the new place. And when they are there, they'll be grateful that they followed you. Now, so you need to understand that if you're a transformational leader, you must always be trying to get the group to benefit. Number one. So you always ask, what can be better? But number two, you must not be trying to do things for yourself. It's for us, not for me. People will not trust you when they discover that although you are working with them, you are actually manipulating them to your own personal ends. People will follow someone whom they say cares about them. Have you heard the saying, I don't care what you know until I know that you care. I want to know that you care about me. I want to know that you are interested in what is happening to me. Now, if you are, then of necessity, I will spend my time following you because I know whatever you are doing is not for your personal gain. It's not selfish. You are other-centered rather than self-centered. That's what will make people trust you. That's what will make people follow you. And you can get them to a better place the moment they are with you. But that's not the only thing that will give you this influence. The next thing that will give you influence is competence. Whatever you put your hands to do, you do it well. You're a person of excellence. If you're a person of excellence, people will follow you because they know whatever project you do is likely to come out well. And when we talk about competence, there are three things we are actually saying. A leader has three very critical competencies. The first competence we call conceptualization skill. The ability to look ahead don't know how the details, but you're able to think through. You know, architects are praised or honored because they are able, you can tell them, I want a house here. And 1 week later, 2 weeks later, they come up with an architectural drawing, even with your children running inside the house. These days, they are able to do 3D design. And yet, they have not, you don't even have money to do the house, but they have completed it. And they have completed the drawing. They are able to imagine what will come out of the plot. Now that's what we are saying is a very critical requirement. If you don't know where we are going, how will we follow you? How can the blind lead the blind? One of the things that will give you influence is when you know where we are going. For example, we want to go for a trip to Naivasha. Now, if you have never been to Naivasha, it will be very difficult for us to follow you. Then as we are discussing, somebody turns out that is somebody's uncle's place. Oh, we were even there for Christmas. Within no time, that person will become a leader. What has made him have influence? Competence, conceptualization, able to know where we are going. People want to have an idea about what they are likely to meet ahead. And your ability to think is what will help. So if, for example, you have a problem you have been given as a group, the person who can imagine how things are is likely to become the person that will influence others. Do you have that ability? It's not easy. Because that means when you're going for a meeting, others are coming to discuss. You have to do a dry run earlier. What are we likely to discuss? What facts do I have? Research on it. So when you come to the meeting, when others are groping around in the dark, you already have the facts about the things that are being decided. Within no time, every time there's a discussion, people will be looking in your direction. Karaoke, what do you think? Because they know you normally think through ahead. So for you to gain this trust and this competence of conceptualization, it will require you do homework, you actually research, you Google about any topic that is at hand. And the moment you consistently know something about the topic and about the future, that competence of knowing things, conceptualizing things, thinking them through, will make people want to be with you and to follow you. The second thing that will help any leader, and it's important that every leader has it, is what we call interpersonal skills, ability to relate with others. You can be very good at conceptualizing, but you are unable to get your vision to be understood by the group. So although they would like to go with you, but you are not explaining yourself, they don't understand you. So they are not unable to go with you. Not because you don't have the competence of conceptualization, but because you are unable to communicate your vision to people. Leadership that will help people to go to the new place, the promised land, will be a leadership that has ability to get the vision. In fact, those who are good are are so good at explaining their vision that within no time you no longer call it Otieno's vision. They start saying our vision. You are able to sell it until there is a buy-in by the group. Because once it is their vision, then they'll be willing to sacrifice, willing to work hard to reach it. But if it's the leader's vision, over time they will just lose they're just going to lose the interest. So it's important as a leader to have that ability to communicate. If you have weakness in communication to others, it will be difficult for them to get your view. But it's not just that which is communicating the vision. It's also ability to be a people person. A people person is a person who is able to convince the people that you are with that you care about them, that you are interested in them. That's what we are calling interpersonal skills. And there are people who are not good. They're always fighting. They want to tell you that this needs improvement. They start by saying you are hopeless. Just by introducing the subject, it's hopeless, the guy is not willing to listen to the next. So because he can't listen to you, he can't do what you are saying. Because he can't do what you're saying, the whole group will not go to where you wanted them to go. And it's important then to understand that you must have that interpersonal skills. It's a full subject which you cover on your own. But if you want to leadership, you must look for ways of relating well with others. Are you the kind of guy who wants to work alone? Who wants to be on your own alone? Oh, my friend, you can't be a leader. A leader must be a people person. Interested in working with others, interested in being with others, interested in helping others, interested in what bothers the other person. If you can see this is a lady and she's pregnant, you'll be interested in are you in pain? How can we help? Will you be able to come next week? But if you say that's your personal business, you and your husband care about it, they don't care, you can't be a leader. I told you, for people to follow you, they'll have to be convinced you are interested in them. So interested that it matters to you. Even non-technical issues, non-office matters interest you. About my goodness, I care. You are the type of person who hears somebody is in hospital, you'll visit them and show them we are not just workmates, we are actually friends. That's what we were talking about, interpersonal skills. Getting people to understand that you care about them. Communicating well, but also getting friendship and getting teamwork. Of course, when you talk about interpersonal skills, you're also talking about being a team player. There are people who just know how to work on their own. They don't know how to work with others. And it's important to understand teamwork is what will make the team go with you. You can be the captain of the football team, but if you can't pass the ball to others, you are not a team player. it will be very difficult for you to win, because you can't always be the best located person to hit the ball into the goalpost. It will be important, very, very important, that you understand the implication of being a team player. Teams. So the first competence is ability to think, ability to see ahead, ability to be proactive. The second one, ability to relate well with others. The third one is what we call a technical skill, technical competence. Do you understand exactly what are the issues at hand? If the project is about going for tourism, read about it until you understand tourism. You understand about the big five that the people go to see in the national park. You understand about the tour guides and who are they needed. Understand about the challenges on the road. If you understand, those are technical issues. They are not consumerization. They are not interpersonal skills. They are just understanding the details. For example, if you are the CEO of a hospital, although you may not be a doctor, you must be interested enough to ask doctors to tell you, what's a theater? What do they do there? What's a pharmacy? That's what you are calling technical skills. And if you don't care about the project, don't care about the technical issues of the project, you'll not be a good leader. Let me be quick to correct myself. You don't have to be an expert. A leader is not an expert on technical issues, but a leader knows what's happening. If you are the CEO of a hotel, you don't even know how to make an egg, but at least you need to know what the cooks are going through, the chefs are going through when they're making eggs. You need to understand about supplies. You need to know a little about everything technical happening in the hotel, but you don't have to be an expert in them. Your main expertise is in conceptualization and interpersonal skills. Actually, they normally say the other way around. When you are a very junior, the most important competence is technical. How do I make this egg? How can I fry it so that the hotel clients will like it? That's 70-80% of your job is technical. But when you become the CEO, you may never fry an egg. So you need to know about it, but maybe that is 10% of your competence requirement. 60-70% of your competence requirement is ability to conceptualize, to think ahead, and ability to communicate so that you can share what is ahead with the immediate managers who also need to share with the juniors. But you must know something. You cannot ignore what your staff are doing, what your followers are doing, because after all, you are not the one doing. You require some technical skills, and that's what will help you. I have written a book on this matter of influence called A Leader's Source of Influence, which one could pick either from Amazon or from a bookshop. But it's a very important topic. If you want to be a leader, your currency is influence. So you must understand how to be a man or a woman of influence. Without influence, you become a manager, not a leader. I think it will be important that is understood. The first task of a leader is getting the team agreed on where they are going. So your first task as a leader will be to get an agreed vision. It is in your mind, but it's useless until the people with you call it our vision. It's no longer the leader's vision. So your big task when you get, for example, a new project, your first task is to get people. Don't start telling people you do this, you do that. That doesn't matter. That's a detail. The more important thing is to sell the vision. Why should I do this? It is the why question that is answered first before the how question. So it's you as a leader, it will be a responsibility to explain. For example, I make you a committee, that you are the finance committee of our church and we are constructing. The first thing is, why should we construct the building? What do we need to see? Then that's the time you now come to what monies do we require. But that vision, you must get an agreed vision by everybody involved. Number two, which will be important, you must agree, this group must agree the mission. Vision is, how will it look at the end when this team has completed its work? That's vision. Mission is, what do we need to do in order to get there? And it will be a debate. Allow people to debate it until it's an agreed mission statement of the group. And then thirdly, it will be important for you as a leader to agree core values. In other words, we are going to work together, but this and this and this and this we can't do. These are our values. And if anybody breaks our value, then obviously cannot continue being a part of the team. When you call them core values, it's because they are non-negotiable convictions of this team. And they should not be the leaders' values, although they must come to where they are our values. In other words, we are not failing to do it because so that the leader doesn't see us. It is we believe in it. If we believe in stealing is wrong, that's our value, then it is something we are convinced ourselves. And it will be important that is fully understood. But let me emphasize that the biggest thing that will give a leader a following is ethics. Ethics. Ethical leadership will give you a following. You know, we could really look at this subject in many ways, but it's best explained by Psalms chapter 15 that clearly says, in verse 4 we read, the person who is going to heaven is a person who despises a vile person, but honors those who fear the Lord, who keeps an oath even when it hurts, and does not change their mind. That's what ethics is all about. You are a man of your word. And it will be important that is what we're talking about. So when you talk about ethics, ethics refers to well-founded standards of right and wrong that they prescribe what humans or the group ought to do. Usually it includes the rights. What are the rights of the group? And you keep with them if you're a man of integrity. Obligations, what are obligations of each person in the group? Benefits to society, how can we benefit society? The issue of fairness, and we could go on. There are virtues that are agreed. That's what we mean when you talk about ethics. That's what you're talking about. And it will be important for you to, if you're a man of ethics, you value these things and you live by them. You know, some things are legal, but not necessarily ethical. Ethics and legality are not the same. For an action can be fully legal. For example, you are not breaking any law, but still it is unethical. A good example is violating confidentiality in a research project. For example, we have agreed we are researching, but this information will not leak. Then you actually leak it. You do not break any law, but you are in breach of an ethical principle. I tell you a story, and I'm telling you this in confidence. You go and share it with one of your friends. I'm also telling you in confidence. If that information comes back to me, I will say you have no ethics. But I cannot take you to court. There's no law you have broken, because we never entered in an agreement. So it's important to understand not all legal issues are ethical. An ethical person is a standard much higher than legal. You may not be a criminal, but you may still be unethical. You know, integrity is what ethics is made of. What is integrity? It comes from the word integer, oneness. So when you say you are a man of integrity, it means you are integrated. What we see is what we get. Who you are at home is who you are in the office. You have a belief system, you have values that make you behave the same irrespective of where you are. You do not behave depending on circumstances. You do not have circumstantial relative ethics. You are the same person everywhere when you say you are a man of integrity. Ethical behavior requires very personalized individual integrity. Integrity is an internal system of principles which guide your personal behavior. When you are acting with integrity, you do what is right, even when no one is watching. Because you are not doing it for anybody. It's a belief within you. So what you are in the dark is what you are in the light. You do not change because it's a belief system within you. Psychologists call it, if you ever behave different, it gives you cognitive dissonance because you have a certain belief system which you don't want to break, irrespective of who is watching or not watching. So, if you're a man of integrity, you have honesty, objectivity, compassion, dependability, generosity, kindness. You even have loyalty. When you say you are with someone, you are true with him. you have maturity, you have respect, you have trust, you have wisdom, and we can go on. All these are things that are that we need to think about, and ask ourselves: are you an honest person? If sometimes it depends on the circumstance, then you're not ethical and a man of integrity. A man of integrity is the same everywhere. And we have read in Psalms 51, even sometimes his integrity will be very expensive. By keeping your word, it's got to hurt you badly. It might even make your business be destroyed. But you are so committed to keeping your word that you will do it even when it hurts, like the psalmist has told us. You know, both ethics and integrity, however, spring from values, and I've made reference to it. So really, you cannot be an ethical person unless you have integrity. You cannot have integrity unless there are core values that run your life. You believe in them, and it's important. So values is what gives you integrity. What is it that you believe strongly? Non-negotiable conviction. Values are your deep-seated beliefs. Deep-seated. They cannot be moved. Values are not to be compromised without internal discomfort. Those things are so dear to you that if somebody touches them, you will certainly be in trouble. That's why you cannot give a policeman a bribe on the road if you believe in integrity, despite the fact that give him 1,000 shillings and you are free. You don't give him, you end up in the police station. The business you are doing will be totally messed up. Now, that's why people of integrity are so rare that when you discover one, you want to follow him. That's why the biggest prize for you to get influence as a leader will be that consistent, even when it is very, very expensive. You have a deep-seated belief, and you cannot compromise, even if it will lead you to discomfort. Values are your moral compass in life. They are the ones that direct you. You cannot go that way. Oh, I can't. It will hurt my morals. I cannot do that. Why? Because it will hurt my morals. So when we talk about a man of integrity, we are talking about somebody with those deep-seated beliefs that guide him like a compass leads a navigator. The end result of an action does not justify violating the value. So you don't say the end justifies the means, like Machiavelli. For you, during the means is as important as the end. So you'd rather miss the end rather than use a means that breaks your values. And you can see clearly from what you are discussing, there are very few. You don't require your toes to count the people you know who have integrity. People that are consistent. You know, once you have this kind of thing I'm describing, you will be consistent because you'll be the same person everywhere. If I meet you in Mombasa, you'll be the same person as I meet you in London. You are consistent. Number two, you are predictable. That's why people want to follow you. They can almost tell you, if you ask Nganga this, I know this is the answer. They can predict your answer because they know your values, and your values are like pillars. They are immovable. Therefore, they can predict, given this value, you cannot do this. Given this value, you will do this. So you become somebody who is predictable. You are consistent and you are predictable. And I think that will be but you know, lack of integrity is what we call corruption. Lack of integrity. So decisions made and action taken in a business environment affect many people other than yourself. So when you make decisions in business, we soon don't trust you. When you realize you are making decisions that benefit you, but they are spoiling your subordinates, you are not a leader. You may be a manager, but not a leader. Business malpractice have the potential to inflict enormous harm on individuals, on communities, and on the environment. And to be important to understand then, if you're a man of integrity, you don't just think of yourself. You think of other people around you. It doesn't just matter what will be the profit. You wonder, how did I get this profit? What did I do? Did I break? Did I compromise in any way? You know, ethics in any leader of a business, or any leader of a church, or any leader of a political party, or any leader of a nation are important for several reasons. You know, when you keep ethics as a leader, it leads to better results for your organization. You know, the moment you have no ethics, your followers will have no ethics. And in the process, the whole business of the whole group, the whole nation will be slowed down from where it's going. Why should we have this leadership ethics? Because it will help the team to go to the promised land faster and cheaply. If you don't, there will be a problem. Number two, when you have these ethics, it reduces risks and dependencies for you and those around you. When you are the kind of a person who encourages ethics, it means there will be ethics in you, ethics in your workers, and your clients will soon get to know that they need ethics. So what will happen in the process? You will end up having less risks. When people become trustworthy, you do not have you not have a company full of people who are watchmen, and watchmen who are watching the watchmen. There will be ethics. You can see clearly. You see, ethics preserves the strength of the business, of the group, of the church. It keeps our biggest competitor at bay. You know, if you're a business, not buying from us because of doubting its value or our product or service. If we trust you, you come up with a new product, we are likely to follow you. If we trust you and your prices are a little higher, we'll still come to you. And when we run to you, we got somebody else with cheaper, we burn our fingers, we are back to you. If you become a person, a leader of integrity, even clients who are not necessarily part of your team are going to trust you, and you'll have a following, not just of your own team, but even of business. People will go to a place that is cheaper, discover it, and then come back and tell you, can't you, let's negotiate the price. I really want to work with you. And the same thing with you as a leader. When there are elections, you'll be elected. And next time they try to go somewhere else, they say, no. We can trust so-and-so. We dare not move away from so-and-so. We elect him again. You know, it creates a network of ethical people around you, people you can trust and rely on. Whereas the corrupt people attract the corrupt. Have you noted that? If you are a corrupt, people find they would like to apply for jobs in your place. If you are ethical, they say, I don't want to work there. There you cannot get marupurupu, you cannot get things easily. They have such a system. They don't do things that will enrich me easily. So they'll not come. So you end up with a following of people that are ethical, because there will be sanctions. Even by the majority who are ethical, they will sanction anybody who joins the bus and happens not to be ethical. Whatever suggestion you make, you'll be thrown out as quickly as possible. So you can see clearly, you create a network of ethical people and you get a much better. You know, you need to understand that when you are ethical, you have peace of mind. You know, if you are not ethical, every time you hear your department is being audited, you can't sleep. You fear the day of ethics. If you're a politician, you fear the elections. Because over 5 years, they have known the truth about you. Not like the first time they elected you. You live a life where you go to sleep and you can't sleep because you are worried about what will happen. When you are a man of integrity, there's nothing to fear. You know, they say a man of integrity does not even require good memory. Because if you ask him, how old are you? He can never tell you a lie. He either tells you, I don't want to tell you. But if he tells you, it's the same. You meet 3 years later and say, how old are you? He doesn't have to remember what he told you the previous time. If you're a liar, you have to have a very good memory. People who have integrity live simple lives because they have no complexities. They are the same people consistently from time to time. And of course, in the process, if you're a man of integrity, it will keep you from jail. People trust you. People will even defend you. And it will also keep you in the job. It will keep you in the task if you are really a man of integrity. And it will be important. You know, there's a cost and benefit to this thing. I have to admit that if you're a man of integrity, yes, the benefit will be the following. You'll be a leader that is loved. You'll be a leader who has a much easier time. Once people trust you, it's much easier. No complexities in leading the people. But there will also be costs that will come. Integrity and trust are easily lost and very hard to regain. The moment you have no integrity, people will not trust you anymore. That will be the cost of trying to cut corners. You can't fix a lack of fairness or justice with a lack of ethics. It will be important to understand, don't be unethical because I'm not ethical. You cannot fix my lack of ethics while you becoming unethical. The important thing is be consistently ethical. It will become a challenge. I will feel guilty. I might change. But if you become like me, it encourages me to become even more unethical. And the cost of me becoming unethical and joining you is that all of us become losers. If you deserve more, are you, for example, and you feel, wow, there's no fairness in this industry, so I deserve more. Are you likely to get more with high ethics or with compromise ethics? It is true, your ethics will give you trouble in the short term. You might even lose something. For example, the policeman on that road which you pass regularly may end up giving you a hard time. If you agree to go through the whole process, next time they see you, they don't even stop you. They know you normally obey the rules. It will be very difficult to get you. And unless he is after going around in the courts. So you, on the long term, you gain. You gain. And a friend of mine told me how he is in transport. And initially, he ended up paying many fines. Until the police on the roads he was using said, you know, forget about him. He just wastes our time. He just wants to keep paying fines in the government. And me as a policeman, I gain nothing. I will never arrest him. So his vehicles were allowed on the road. But you have to pay the high cost initially for people to finally know you are not the type who will pay any fine. And you need to understand that basically people who have integrity last in the longer term. You know, where can you get your values as we go towards finishing? I believe the Bible is the best value book. If you read the Bible, not just once, but regularly, I encourage you to read daily. It will fill your mind with such important values, and those values will help you to have integrity. That integrity will give you better behavior, and then people will trust you and work with you as a leader, and that will be important. Christians believe that because they are created in the image of God, they have a capacity to recognize and understand God's truth. You know, if he created you, he is the one who knows what is best for you. It was St. Augustine who said, truth is not individual, but universal. Truth did not begin when we were born. It always existed. To the Christian, truth came to mankind in two major forms, through Jesus coming and also through the written word. Thus, he argues that scripture for a Christian is a source of values, and it will be important that we actually follow it. I finish by just telling you that if you're really a man of integrity, you'll be incorruptible. It's not that once in a while you are not corrupt. Nobody, there's nothing that can do you to you. You are willing to pay any price. You'll be incorruptible. You know, you will not be tempted by everybody is doing it syndrome. No. Everybody might do it, but you are willing to stay alone. You know, you will not argue, the boss does it. The boss may continue being corrupt, but you will not be corrupt. You're a man of integrity. You will not end up with impunity. Oh, after all, nothing happens even if you are caught. Don't wait for external being caught. It is an internal mechanism within you that stops you from doing the wrong thing. And it will be important to understand you will not use poverty as an excuse. Because a lot of people lack integrity. They say, I don't have money. No, for you, you are willing to die rather than compromise. So you are willing not to become rich rather than compromise. But you see, because you are a man of integrity, it will cause others to trust you. So poverty is unlikely to be with you longer term. My friend, we have talked about ethical youth leadership. Do you understand the importance that leadership is influence? Do you understand that the youth can actually be a leader and should be a leader at any stage of the way? And do you understand that without ethics, you complicate your leadership? May the Lord help us to really be committed to this. Is that 4?